Hi everyone, this is Andrew Tai and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be talking about Microsoft's purchase of Activision Blizzard for a whopping $68.7 billion. And I'm going to be talking about the impact that this is going to have on Mac gaming as a whole. So I think the biggest takeaway from this acquisition is the fact that Microsoft are going to have a huge number of gaming franchises under their umbrella. And this is obviously going to have a huge impact on the entire gaming industry as a whole, and also what games get released on specific platforms. So Microsoft obviously have the Windows platform where they release many of their PC games now, whether it's on their own Xbox app or the Xbox Game Pass subscription service, or recently releasing on third-party stores like Steam. And also they have their Xbox Series S and X console business, which they are heavily invested in as part of their ecosystem. And the fact is that Microsoft have absorbed a whole host of new franchises, for example, Diablo, StarCraft, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, World of Warcraft, etc. And all of these games which have had historical releases on the Mac might not be supported in the future, and future entries into the franchises may no longer work on the Mac operating system or on the M1 Apple Silicon Mac. So I'm just going to explore this idea and talk it through. So one part of the company that has been purchased by Microsoft is Blizzard. And Blizzard historically have had a good track record of releasing their AAA games on the Mac operating system. So for example, we've got StarCraft 2, Diablo 3, Heroes of the Storm, Hearthstone. All of these games have been released on the Mac operating system and they work really well on the M1 Apple Silicon chip. And in fact, World of Warcraft is one of the very first games that got a proper native M1 port for the M1 chip. And so you can see how dedicated Blizzard have been to the Mac operating system. However, they've also dropped support in certain areas too. So for example, their first-person shooter Overwatch never got a macOS port, nor did their game Diablo 2 Resurrected, which was conspicuously missing a macOS port, especially as the original Diablo 2 had its own 32-bit Mac port, which unfortunately no longer works on 64-bit Mac operating systems. So you can see that even before the acquisition by Microsoft, you can see that Blizzard have been reducing the number of macOS ports, and it's clearly on a downward trend, and it's very possible that none of the future entries of their mainline franchise games would ever get a macOS port. So therefore, I think that the Microsoft acquisition is not necessarily going to change anything. Now, with regards to World of Warcraft, will WoW still continue to support the M1 Mac in the future? I do think that they'll probably continue supporting the M1 Mac. However, it doesn't look like the other franchises would have ever got macOS support in the future either. How about the Activision side? So one of the biggest franchises under Activision is the Call of Duty franchise. And the last Call of Duty game that was released on the Mac operating system is Call of Duty Black Ops 3, which was released in 2015. It uses the Rosetta 2 translation layer, but makes full use of the Metal Graphics API and runs very well on the M1 chip. However, its multiplayer servers are all pretty empty because they're segregated from the Windows desktop side, and so it's almost impossible to get a multiplayer game on Mac, so you're really limited to just playing that single player storyline. And since Black Ops 3, there haven't been any other mainline Call of Duty games released on the Mac operating system, and we don't even have a game like Warzone working on macOS either, as I'm sure that the M1 chip would be perfectly able to play that game if it had the right support for it. So now that Microsoft have acquired these franchises, I don't actually think that the actual strategy on which platform they're going to release on is going to change drastically with regards to their Mac operating system. I think they have their own strategy of promoting PC gaming on the Windows operating system side of things, and also their own Xbox Series S and X lineup of consoles, and protecting that ecosystem. And I think that one of the main strategies of Microsoft is to bump up the number of games in their Xbox Game Pass and suck people into their gaming ecosystem. So the Xbox Game Pass is a subscription service with a host of hundreds of different games. And if you imagine that in the future, we could have an Overwatch 2, a Diablo 4, the Call of Duty Warzone, all working through Xbox Game Pass, then this would encourage more and more subscribers and more users. In the press release, Microsoft announced that today Game Pass now has more than 25 million subscribers, which is huge. This is recurring revenue which comes to them every single month, and the more games and franchises that they can bring, the more ubiquitous and more Netflix-like they become, and it just becomes a service that you're constantly subscribed to, and it's the only purchase that you're ever going to need because it's going to offer such great value. And Microsoft's strategy is pretty clear that in addition to the desktop PC running Windows or the Xbox Series console, if you want to play an Xbox Game Pass game, then you're going to want to subscribe and also get access to cloud streaming through xCloud. So this is going to allow you to stream those very same games through phones, tablets, laptops, and other devices. Anything that can stream a video will technically allow you to use the xCloud streaming service. And I think that as far as Microsoft are concerned, they're going to treat the Mac desktop as one of these alternate platforms, which aren't going to be able to run the games locally and natively, but can stream them online. So it's going to give us additional options in the future. We're going to be able to stream games like Call of Duty Warzone or Diablo 4 or Overwatch 2 over the internet instead of being able to run it natively on the M1 Mac. Now this is obviously going to be very disappointing news because playing these games locally is always going to offer you the best latency and the best experience. However, for some people this is going to be the next best alternative. If you can play these games streaming, it would mean that you could play them on your Mac, which might be the only way to experience it on the Apple ecosystem. So I think that eventually this is going to be Microsoft's overall strategy. Now, how about the current existing ports of games? So I don't think that Microsoft are going to go ahead and kill support for things like World of Warcraft's M1 Mac support. It just doesn't make any sense for them to do that. So if you look at it historically as well, there's no evidence of that either. So in 2014, Microsoft purchased Mojang for $2.5 billion. And this included the entire Minecraft franchise. And at the time, Minecraft was still a multi-platform release running on Windows, macOS, and also Linux. That's because it was running on the Java framework, which is very flexible and can be installed on virtually anything. And what Microsoft did is that they went ahead and created an alternate version called Minecraft Bedrock, written in C++, and this allowed them to port the game to consoles and smartphones, and also produce an alternate Microsoft Store version, but they never killed the Minecraft Java version, and Microsoft continued to maintain Minecraft Java and also Minecraft Bedrock, and it's still arguable to this day which version is going to be best for you. It really depends on your needs. So it's interesting to think about what the future of Microsoft gaming is going to be like on the Mac operating system. I think that Microsoft's strategy is going to be focusing on xCloud. So I think that future releases of Microsoft franchise games like Call of Duty Warzone, Overwatch 2, Diablo 4, the only way that we're going to be able to play these on a Mac is either going to be through xCloud or through some future boot camp. And this is something that could potentially happen in the future. If we could run Windows 11 ARM natively on Apple Silicon hardware, then we could bypass all of these exclusivity and platform wars, and we could run Windows 11 directly and be treated exactly the same as any other PC user running Windows, and therefore we could have access to all of these Microsoft exclusive games. However, it does remain to be seen whether boot camp is ever going to be a possibility in the future. If you check out my other video about the secret licensing deal between the ARM chip manufacturer Qualcomm and Microsoft about the exclusivity of Windows 11 ARM, then please check it out. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this analysis. I've got lots of other Mac gaming tutorials and videos on my channel. Please check it out. If you liked the video, please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.